Hello! We're back with Elden Ring. And I fixed a couple of settings, so now it works in borderless windowed mode and has a slightly lower resolution. Let's hop on in. Make sure that the game knows where it is. There we go. And we are starting a new playthrough today. We have completed the backhand blades, and now we are starting a bandit playthrough because we are getting the bandit's curved sword for this one. And this chap is going to be known as Dan Bandit, which is a name I had planned before we made somebody called Dan a moderator, but you know, now you know who to blame. If something isn't allowed in chat, well, Dan Bandit. We're going to load a preset appearance here. I think we went with Newman, young, maybe a slightly different skin color. I think something closer to that. Alter the hair. This is something I was playing around with a little bit. I really like the Skrillex hair, as I think of it. So we're going to grab that. We're going to make the hair one of these like darker, bluer kind of ones. I think about there. Maybe bring the luster down a little bit more, give him fewer white hairs. And I think in terms of facial hair, that's good. I think the face structure has a few possible templates that we could go with. I think it was this one. We go with that. He's going to have the bandit's outfit on anyway, but I kind of like giving him a bit of a fresher appearance to start out with. So we're going to do our usual thing. Here comes the bouncy ball. Sing along if you know the words.
The fallen leaves.
Ginger has to wait 5 more letters until you get one after yourself. Yeah, there you go. Curse you, Radagon!
In our home.
Yeah, the if you missed the backhand blade playthrough, that's because you blinked. It was over so quickly. But we're going to continue this playthrough in a similar fashion because I'm planning on getting 2 bandits curved swords because it's a weapon you can farm. And we're going to dual wield and do basically like a warrior style playthrough. We're starting bandit because it's the bandit's curved sword.
Godwin the Golden was first to perish.
But I think we're getting pretty handy with this game now, so we'll have some fun with this one.
Soon, Marika's offspring,
yeah, the backhand blades were fun. Like, I really enjoyed that playthrough. Especially right at the end. I was like, wow, suddenly this weapon is amazing. What happened? I think I just got used to the cadence of the attacks and the rhythm of playing with those, the spacing that they give you, because they're very aggressive. Like, they move you forward when you attack, instead of kind of standing you in one place. And so, yeah, by the time I got used to that, the game was ending. So the last couple of fights went pretty well for me. But yeah, apparently they're just a really solid weapon for damage and stuff. Probably quite good at getting you out of harm's way.
Leading to abandonment.
Missed most of the backhand blade playthrough? Well, no worries. The VOD is up on Twitch. I will be posting them to Pixel VODs as well. The last of the Astrologer Staff playthrough with Zloy XP should be coming out in the next few days. Along with the randomizer playthrough with Axe of Godfrey. So after that we just have Axe of Godrick, Azur's Glintstone Staff, and Backhand Blade, and we're basically caught up. So Red Loris recently started playing Minecraft. My tutorials have been really helpful. Glad to hear it.
Chieftain of the Badlands.
The ever-brilliant gold mask.
Fear. The deathbed companion.
An loathsome dung eater.
and Sir Gideon Othmere, the all-knowing.
Squad. Elden Ring, your favorite too? Nice. You're gonna you're gonna enjoy it here. We are starting our 15th playthrough of the game. 15th, like, of the A to Z challenge. I beat the game maybe 3 times before this overall.
Would again
A couple of times casually and once on stream with Zlay XP. When we did our seamless co-op run for the first time. Bandit swords, start to run dual wielding. This one was a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm planning on gathering 2 and probably infusing 1 with flame and 1 with cold. And then building for strength int with a minor focus index.
For the Elden Ring.
So it's going to be a broad stat spread, but
And become the Elden Lord.
should be fun. And you start with a bit of arcane for status proc, so we get a little extra frostbite. Time to stand before the Elden Ring, starting with the Ring of Mikola, apparently. Let's grab this, make our way out. Looking forward to the next Chopping Tuesday. Well, you know when that'll be. The dual wield moveset is going to be very fun. Yeah. Yeah, I've planned out a little bit of this, and I just wanted to start a fresh character to see how easy it was to acquire the sword, and I got one within maybe like the first couple of kills on the skeleton outside of the church in Weeping Peninsula, and then we ended up with maybe another 10 or so attempts to get the second one, so shouldn't be too bad. We're going to go and get a couple of things first, obviously. Here we are in the Stranded Graveyards. We're going to get the Sacred Blade Ash of War and just apply it to the Great Knife that you start with. Cat Lady, thank you so much for that brand new Prime sub to the channel. Enjoy your emotes and your sub badge. Welcome to the Pixels. I'm going to grab the graces and stuff as I go here, just in case we want to come back to any of this. And there we go. This could almost be the playthrough where I start parrying, but I decided dual wielding was more fun. Let's say hi to Varre.
Come to the, of course,
Yes, fresh weapon run through. Brand new weapons today.
Are you familiar? You may also that.
I think the goal for today's stream is probably to get to Mogwin Palace so we can level up between streams. And then we might see if we can either finish the game on the next stream or at least get most of the way through mountaintops. I think 2, 2.5, 3 streams is going to be the average from now on, because I don't plan any like extensive challenge runs until we get to things like the Finger Seal or something like that. The Finger Seal is the one that you get as a default from the either Prophet or Confessor class, and I think those are the ones where I'm going to try and get every incantation in the game, kind of like we did with the Astrologer's Staff for sorceries. I still plan on doing a randomizer run with Ollie at some stage, but that might just be a bit of a cheeky bonus and not something that's part of the A to Z. So we'll get that, we'll buy the crafting kits.
Goodbye.
See ya. And we'll do our usual thing of grabbing blood grease at the beginning of this so that we can kill Greyoll more easily. Get a few crafting materials along the way. I think that should be enough to start with for root resin. Trying to follow the storage hall build. Is there any way you can get a version of that in the case of the starter house? I don't think so. Like, I didn't really do much in the way of building tutorial stuff for that, except the general shapes of things as I went, but it was much more about the inside with the storage filters than it was about the outside, so... Sooner or later I might publish a world download for that world, though, so it may be possible to follow along with it there, but obviously I know that's not super helpful right now.
To aid you, you need to the foot. Then it summoned me. Ah, I bequeath. It will summon Torrent. Treat him with.
We'll add that to our flasks for now, and set up our pouch, so we have Spectral Whistle on there. We'll hop down here to get the Wild Strikes, oh not Wild Strikes, get the Wet Blades so we can add Wild Strikes to something. I think we might get the Morning Star from Weeping Peninsula just because it's better than the Great Knife for inflicting bleed. We have Storm Stomp at least. John Elden Ring says, Happy Thanksgiving, Tarnished. Happy Thanksgiving to you, John. Hope you're doing well. Excuse me, I need the map. Thank you. I need the map and I don't need to be stabbed. Those are my requirements. Emboldened by the turkey of ambition. Today we are thankful for Dan Bandit. There's golden seed number 2. So that's 6 flasks already. 6 flasks, Great America. By the end of the challenge, maps will be useless. I still like getting them for the sake of knowing where I am for fast travel. Knowing what to look for, where to look.
Everyone who only to have that, did you know?
Dan Bandit, yeah.
You're heading to entice well that, but I don't have. It's scared. I want on nothing. Can you take
Jellyfish.
and it'll be glad.
All right, thanks, Rodrika. Let's head up the hill to get Wild Strikes. I'll show you just how bad this Great Knife is when you haven't upgraded it. It's very good for crit. I think it's probably got some of the better crit rating in the game, but is not a great weapon, which makes me slightly apprehensive about the dagger runs. Come back here, you! Okay, there we go. Who did Dan ban? Wasn't me. Yes, the joke, of course, is that we added somebody named Dan to the mod team. And I had a plan to call this guy Dan Bandit before we ever did that, but it was just a happy coincidence. Just popped in to say hi, happy Thanksgiving. Thank you so much, Cat Lady. Enjoy the rest of your day. Hope you got plenty to eat and drink and some good conversation, some good family time, whatever it happens to look like for you. Good company. Like how there's always boars around the trees that have root resin for some reason. For some reason. And so, interesting thing about this set of weapons is that we will need a lot of smithing stones. But I don't know for certain if we're going to bother trying to, like, farm them from different places and do, like, Limgrave tunnels and stuff, or if I'll just go and buy them once we've got the bell bearings. I think we'll probably end up doing that.
I was in strike torrents. 'Tis a best summon them, the spirits now it is that.
So I think we'll go and beat Greyoll. We'll farm the weapons first, but we'll go and beat Greyoll. We'll get some extra runes to level up with, and we'll rely on our stats to carry us through some of the early encounters, and then we'll rely on upgrading the weapons once we have the means to get them to at least, like, plus 12. Yay, new run! Yes. Brand new character. Dan Bandit is on the trail of the Bandit's curved swords, because I do plan on having 2. There's our first gold pickled foul-foot. And yeah, these are standard weapons, so we don't need somber smithing stones, we need regular. Rah! We're going to head over here to the Seaside Ruins Site of Grace. And then from there over to Agil Lake South, where there are a couple of things we'll need to do, actually. We're going to skip going to Fort Height until we have the swords, because this knife is absolutely terrible for fighting anything that's in there. But we are going to go over to Fort Height and grab the Grace there. Briefly, I'll head over here and get the Gold Pickled Foul-Foot first. And then, yeah, once we have the Grace over at Fort Height, we'll just go up through the Mistwood and aim for the Church of Marika, where we can get the Sacred Blade Ash of War. And that should allow us to deal holy damage to the skeleton in the Church of Pilgrimage Graveyard, which will drop the weapons that we need. That's the goal for now. If we wanted to boost this slightly, there's also, I think, one of these, like, groups of enemies that is standing around near a silver pickled foul-foot, which increases the chances of item acquisition. But I don't remember exactly where that is. I thought it was the group by Agil Lake South, but they always drop a, it's like a golden rune instead of a foul-foot, so I'm not certain where they are. A couple of merchants sell them as well, but again, not too concerned with it right now. Oh. Oh, I thought I was going to die, but fortunately there was a cliff ledge there that saved my life. Give me the runes. They're barely worth it, but we might as well. I'll need a little bit of money later to upgrade the stuff. Watching this and taking notes because you're planning to rerun your Zweihander playthrough? Nice. That's at least a weapon that you can just go and run to. But then, yeah, I recommend grabbing the Morning Star from Weeping Peninsula, getting Blood Grease, adding Wild Strikes to it, and going to kill Greyoll with that, and then you get a ton of runes that you can invest into stat points very early. For the Zweihander, obviously, you'll need a lot of strength, probably some endurance as well, because it's a Colossal. Dealing with a headache that doesn't want to go away. I'm sorry about that, Nix. My partner's been dealing with something similar. I think it's around this time of year because things get colder and the light gets dimmer, like the natural daylight, so we're relying on artificial light more, and because obviously artificial lights kind of flicker subtly in ways that our eyes cannot see, it does tend to induce headaches if you've got a lot of artificial light for a long time. So, yeah, I think it's not uncommon around this time of year in general for headaches to be more frequent. Take care of yourself, of course. Stay hydrated, take some ibuprofen or whatever if you need to, and relax if you can. Do whatever you can that soothes you. So, we already have the Strength Not Crystal tier for the Mixed Physic, which means we can apply that to the flask right away. And we might as well have a half heal from it, because that's always nice. Daedalus, welcome in. So now we have +1 regular flasks. We can mix the Wondrous Physic for a strength and health mix. And instead of going to Greyoll right now, we're actually going across the river here and up the other side to where that scarab is by the Spirit Spring. Because that is the Ash of War that we need. What are my thoughts on Shadow of the Erdtree DLC making it into Game of the Year nominations? I don't really care. Like, I know people have strong opinions about it one way or the other, but, like, I have not been keeping track of, like, the other stuff that is nominated for awards and whether or not I think something is deserving. Like, it's the same with, like, Oscars and everything. It's like prestige and whatnot is all very well, but I'm just in it for the experience personally. I'm gonna grab these smithing stones. I honestly feel like the only people who should care strongly about whether or not their projects, whether it's films, games, or whatever, are awarded is the people who made it. Because that's an acknowledgement of their effort. I feel like, you know, fandoms rallying around certain games or films or whatever it is, I don't know, has never really made a whole lot of sense to me. Like, it's cool to be proud of a thing that you think is worth putting time into, but I feel like you put your own... You put in as much as you want to put into something. I don't know, I'm not explaining this very well, but... It feels strange to be emotionally tied to the success of a game when, like, that game is perfectly able to make you happy on its own merits without you needing to worry about whether or not it's won however many awards. I think I get your point. Well, good, because because sooner or later I'm going to run out of patience with myself listening to my own voice. So I'm glad you you think you've more or less grasped what it is I'm trying to say. It's like, you know, if this game wins more awards, it doesn't change what the game is to me. You know? Like, I still find this one of the better games out there. One of my favorite game experiences of my entire life. And, it doesn't necessarily change that if I'm like, and it's also an award-winning game. Because, obviously, it won Game of the Year before, and the DLC... I know that the real kind of controversy is whether or not a DLC should be allowed to win Game of the Year if it's not a whole separate release, and it's sort of like, who cares? Obviously the people involved in the awarding, but yeah, I feel like if you're outside of that industry, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to worry about it to me. But then again, it's the internet, and people are just going to argue about whatever they want to argue about, so... I genuinely think at this point there are people whose brain chemistry is, like, rewired to only get any kind of... stimulus from controversy, instead of the things that actually make them happy. that the truth? The internet loves a good controversy, right? And I don't know, I'm still in, like... Does this thing make me happy? Yes? Good. I will enjoy it to the best of my ability. And not let anybody else tell me otherwise. Unless, you know, it turns out there's something really bad about it. Welcome to my new way of getting around Weeping Peninsula, by the way. The fact they've managed to make the landscape of this game so traversable whilst also being so vertical is one of the things I love the most about it. So we're coming up to our weapon farming spot now. The controversy addiction is real. I wish people would stop being drawn into rage bait in general. Yeah. And that cartoon, I can't go to bed yet, someone is wrong on the internet, yes. Okay, that's +3 on flasks. We don't need to worry too much about faith stats, so we don't need the crystal tier that's near this. We're going Ash of War on the Great Knife. We're adding Sacred Blade. Doesn't really matter much about the affinity because we won't be using this for long anyway. Then we come out into this graveyard, and this guy here gets Sacred Bladed. Insta-killed by that. If he drops an item, it has a chance to be the Bandit's curved swords. And if he doesn't, we just reset at the Grace and do this again. The reason Sacred Blade is so good, aside from the fact that it deals a lot of extra damage to him because it's holy, it also means you don't have to double tap the skeletons. It completely eliminates the phase of fighting a skeleton where they, like, resurrect themselves. Nothing there. You can see where everyone's left all of the player messages and stuff where they've been farming this. The player messages probably all say things like, still no precious item. Don't give up. Why is it always message no armament? Yeah, Oh no! Just kidding. Yeah, all of the stuff on the floor around here is a pain in the butt. Tempted to go offline mode or hide player messages just so that we don't mistake them for items. Or don't mistake items for player messages, for that matter. Nope, still no. We get to see that guy die a few times. This has already taken more attempts than it took me to get one sword on a test run of this. Nothing there this time. The other reason to start Bandit is because with this much arcane, you get a natural boost to item discovery. At least this way we're also farming small amounts of runes. So if we want to level some stuff up, I think we need 11 dex to wield this sword, or 11 strength. One of the two. Some sort of stat that the bandit doesn't have by default. So getting a couple of levels worth of runes is not a bad thing. And we have enough golden runes at this point. It's always messages, bloodstain, messages. I think while the blade is still imbued with holy, we could probably also backstab the guy. Or just hit him once, that would work too. I think elemental infusions or skills work pretty well on daggers. I've just never had a chance to try them out properly, so at some stage we will get around to that. Still no item. It might help to go and look for the silver pickled fowlfoot if we don't get one soon. Surprised he's not dropping any items at all, because other times he'll drop like a bone shard or something, some crafting material or other. Nothing that time either. At least you can kind of see when they drop items, so maybe I should be looking for that. Yeah, I think you need 11 strength. That's what we'll aim for. The jellyfish is gone now as well. I think there's an enemy on Altus Plateau who guaranteed drops this weapon. Drops one of them, at least. But considering we want two, and considering we want it before Altus Plateau, then, yeah, maybe we should just kill this guy a few times. Constantly getting reminders to not give up definitely helps. It's no Albinoric bow. Don't give up. Well, in that case, why didn't you say so? If we can go into... It's probably in system or multiplayer, right? Oh, I guess, okay, maybe you have to do it from, like, the main screen to, like, start in offline mode or whatever. Don't know how I became so invested in this A to Z challenge after one stream, but I'm so here for it. It's a fun challenge. It's just, like, getting to see everything this game has to offer, more or less. From a PvE perspective, anyway. Obviously, in PvP, there's a ton of other stuff you can do, but... I just like the idea of touching every part of this game at some stage. Which right now is just this skeleton over and over, but you know. I might quickly look up where the easiest silver pickled foulfoot is, so I'm not here forever. Oh, okay. Yeah, there's actually one really close to the first step, Site of Grace. Have other creators done this challenge before? The A to Z portion of it, I don't think so. I think there are some creators on Twitch, there's a couple of people I've seen are trying to beat the game with every weapon. The alphabetical order thing is the bit that I'm doing differently. There we go, we've got 2 of them there. That should hopefully help a little. But yeah, I've definitely seen a couple of people who've played through. Like, I think there's one person who's doing it like every fresh playthrough is like a another tier of New Game Plus, which obviously doesn't add too much additional challenge after 7. I think 7 is like where it stops getting more difficult. But yeah, like each fresh run is a New Game Plus run for them. No item. Not sure how long the silver pickled foot lasts, but I presume about as long as the gold one does, which is like a minute and a half or something. Challenges are so cool. I still remember Barefist Steve. Yeah, Barefist Steve actually inspired a run of Elden Ring a while back, where I was playing the game with the fist-based weapons, and we'll probably do something similar when we get to that weapon in this challenge, but that's not going to be for a while, considering it was a weapon beginning with S. So we'll see that one in like 5 years, maybe. The welcome return of Barefist Steve. Well, he dropped an item that time. Yes, we got one. Amazing. So that's the offhand one. We will continue to use Sacred Blade to try and get a second one, but we have one at least. Maybe it's something to do with it being morning. Does that help? Probably not. We've done this all through the night. Still no items. We can pop our second foot. Let's see if that helps. Yeah, the Barefist Steve thing actually inspired an achievement in Minecraft Dungeons, which was the only time that's ever happened with me. Quite the prestigious honor. Yeah, no item that time. But, yeah, considering that there is no achievement for like 100% in this game, which is something that several people have already done, including people in this chat, I'm pretty sure have done 100% runs of this game. But it's not like beating the game with every weapon is a feasible thing for most people to do with how much time on their hands. Second foot's going to run out soon. Amazing how I managed to get 2 of these without any additional items much faster than this. Must have just had better luck when I was testing this one. We really don't want to be just using one of these. We are stuck in a bit of a loop here, yes. Why the people say don't give up. Well, I could go and get some more Silverfowl feet if I can quickly look up where they are. It seems like it might help. Stormvale. Bridge that leads to Raya Lucaria. Altus Plateau. Blah, blah, blah. Gostock. Yeah, okay, cool. I don't think any of them are super easy to get at this stage, so we'll just keep doing it this way. Where's he gone? He's up here now. I swear some other skeletons will pop out of the woodwork. But they're pretty easy to kill while we still have a holy weapon, so... Swoosh, swoosh. Oh yeah, and this neat looking shield. Get wrecked. Didn't know I had a holy chef's knife. Japanese folded steel chef's knife. Is that like an Italian cold steel cinquedilla? Another weapon I've never used. There are a lot of them, to be fair. Put 2 into strength, we'll need it. Similar but more for chopping veggies as opposed to chopping people. The faster you say it, the funnier it gets. Ginger, that sword, the default like Twitch sword emote, whatever that one is. What is that one? It's like Sir Sword. Yeah, that looks so much like the one of the swords that they had in the Fantasy Minecraft mod pack. Every time I look over it, I'm like, huh, weird that that has a thing. Another bone shard. Well, once again, we got an item. It's a very cool sword. It is. The purple fire does make it cooler, officially. That one gravestone ornament. Always putting stuff in my way. What's up, Ken I? Welcome in. Today we are farming the Bandit's curved sword from this skeleton, who despite wielding two of them, refuses to drop more than one. Getting a very tiny amount of runes as we do. It is stingy. It is stingy. Fortunately, we're in no hurry. We've got nowhere to be. And Sacred Blade is fun to use. I imagine we'll get some use out of that in a different playthrough. Go on. More bones! I can't remember what you craft with human bone shards, but we're going to be able to craft a lot of it by the end of this. A full skeleton, yes. An anatomical skeleton for use in classrooms. It's also quite cool that the holy effect persists through rests. You get 50 identical finger bones and no legs. Did you know that the human body has 49 joints in its legs only? The leg is sort of like the spine, actually. Oh, battle music still playing. Must have woken up a nearby friend. A splag bone. We have to understand about the splags. They're very fragile. Surprisingly uncommon. It's a shame that this game doesn't track, like, statistics the way Minecraft does, so I could see how many skeletons I'd killed. The good news is, the game does prioritize you picking up items over reading player messages, so if the skeleton had dropped something, I would know. There's at least 2. Yes, more than 10. In fact. What's up, Doofus? Happy Thanksgiving / Thursday to you as well. I'd say we're at least halfway there. And to think I could have kept the character that I'd managed to farm 2 of these on already, but I thought, no, we'll do it on stream, because it's nice to see the full amount of effort that goes into each one of these. Prepping for a character on stream, we may as well have cheated the item in or something. How's the current run going? Slowly, on account of this skeleton refusing to drop a second sword. But aside from that, nothing's killed me yet, so I'm doing quite well. Then again, I haven't fought anything especially challenging, so... this skeleton is kind of it, really, in terms of things I have fought. But yeah, considering we were farming ancient debris before this, there's a similar level of disappointment and reward. Yes, we are dual wielding this run. It will look kind of similar to how the backhand blade worked, but with individual swords, you'll have a power stance moveset and also a few extra options with regards to status effects. So I'm planning on putting frostbite on one and then fire on another, so that once the foe is frozen, you can unfreeze them immediately using fire and build up frostbite again. And if you can do that with lots of consecutive hits like you can with dual wielding these kind of fairly fast curved swords, then you end up with a pretty effective way to deal status damage. First you have to get a second sword though. Having folks over for homemade sushi? Nice. Never made sushi myself. I need to figure out what I'm having for dinner, but we've got some options in the fridge. Might be a pasty and chips kind of night for me. Some roasted veggies. real skill is in making it pretty, I'm sure, yeah. Aldebar sometimes has sushi parties. He was a trained chef. Nice. It's all about who you know. Roasted veggies are the best. What kind do you like? I tend to do a mix of broccoli, leeks, carrots, and onions most of the time. It varies, though. Oh, I need to start putting points into intelligence as well if we're going to use a cold-infused weapon. Pretty sure that one didn't drop anything. Surprisingly difficult to tell because they kind of melt into silvery particles that look similar to the item. Making beef stew because it's very grey and foggy today. The fire's been on all day. Nice. Definitely a winter warmer kind of time around here, right? Baking an apple pie tonight? Very nice. Definitely apple pie season as well. And now I'm hungry. Yep. Same. I'm hungry for this guy to drop a sword. Generally thought the drop rate was going to be more favorable than this when it only took me maybe like 20 attempts to get 2 swords in the test run. I'd say we're over 50 skeletons now, easily. It's another bone shard.
Bone shard is ready.
Personal chef, literally half my life is food. No, fair play. Fair play. Yeah, a lot of pies happening in the US today. It's funny, I never used to be that into fruit pies and everything, because I was never a hot dessert kind of person. Like a lot of people like, you know, a hot apple pie or whatever, and I just never liked hot, sweet things. But tastes evolve, and I feel like I'm more amenable to it these days, but I was always much more about jelly and ice cream when I was younger. And like warm spices as well, like cinnamon and stuff. Never quite dug those until I was a little older. We've had Baked Alaska. Nice but confusing. Baked Alaska is all like textures and stuff, right? Because it's like meringue and everything. Using Foulfoot and Silver Scarab? No, because the Silver Scarab is like really late in the game, and the only foul feet that are easily accessible to me at this point I've already used. But we are right here at the beginning of the game trying to farm these weapons, so I haven't had time to level up anything like item discovery stats or whatever. We aren't at the point where we can respec very easily either, so I'm just doing what the game is throwing me and not worrying too much about it. If it was New Game Plus, then we'd probably be using Silver Scarab, yeah, but at this point, fresh character and a lot of patience. Plus, like I said, I got 2 of these relatively quickly on a test run, so I thought, oh, this won't be too bad. And now we've been here for an hour. Well, we haven't been here at this spot for an hour. Probably, like, close to half an hour. Our patience will be rewarded eventually. Does Baked Alaska have ice cream in it? You'll have to Google that. Or somebody else will be able to tell you, because I'm not familiar. I never liked the texture of meringue. I wasn't necessarily what you'd think of as a picky eater when I was younger, but I feel like I knew what I liked in terms of desserts. Took you a while using both, yeah. Yeah, I'm finding that there is more of a spread of item drop rates than I expected. At least I have all these messages reminding me not to give up. Give me anything with chocolate? Yeah, I was about the same. I'd have a chocolate bar, a fruit corner, a slice of homemade cake. My mum bakes a lot, so I was well fed with desserts when I was younger. Unfortunately, I have to go eat lasagna and play board games with friends. Enjoy. Hoping you get the sword soon. Thank you. We will get it eventually. We are in no rush here. Especially considering how quick the last playthrough was. I'm fine for one to take its time getting into it. Big fan of tiramisu? Oh, me too. Tiramisu's a great one. Again, something that I probably wouldn't have enjoyed as much as a child, even though it was like layers of chocolate and cream and all of that. But yeah, I feel like the coffee and the liqueur kind of taste would have thrown me off when I was younger. These days, though, it's one of my favorites. Not really a kid's dessert, no. It's like liqueur chocolates. Definitely a thing for adults. Local pizza restaurant does excellent tiramisu here. Nice. It's always good when you can get like a freshly made one. I feel like the places that do it around here aren't great, but it's not like I've tried every tiramisu there is locally, you know? But yeah, I've had some good Italian restaurant tiramisu. The stuff from the supermarkets ain't bad, but I imagine it's not as fresh, not as authentic. The single serving instead of a big old slice. Always a sucker for baklava. Oh, baklava's so good as well. So syrupy. Wonder if there's a sugar-free version of tiramisu? There might be. Plenty of ways you can get artificial sweeteners into that stuff. It's so funny how different this opening to a playthrough is going to be to basically any other playthrough we've done. Like, we can't get into the action straight away because we're just stuck here farming this skeleton. Greyoll is out there being like, what's taking him so long? partner worked in an Italian restaurant for a while and learned how to make great tiramisu and carbonara. It's so great. Yeah, I bet. You're like, I'll set the table. You just do your thing. RM Right, thanks so much for the brand new Prime sub to the channel. Enjoy your emotes and your sub badge. Welcome to the Pixels. Hope you're enjoying the tiramisu chat that seems to have taken over today. Promise that sooner or later we will actually use a different weapon. Of course, like I said, there is the option of going to the Altus Plateau and trying to get one that's the guaranteed drop, but that does involve cutting out a lot of the early game stuff, and also probably involves us killing an enemy that's a little bit above our pay grade right now. Went through this exact same process. It'll be over soon. I hope so. I want to get to the game. This isn't the only thing that we have to farm pretty soon as well, because we need the Banished Knight's Greatsword next, and I'm fairly certain that that's one that you're going to have to farm from Stormvale. Yeah, the guaranteed drop is like way later in the game. The enemy will be a lot more challenging to fight health-wise. Hello? Invisible enemy? Weird. Keto tiramisu? Nice. Okay, we need 1200 to level up now. I wish there was a, you know how this game has different weather patterns? One of which is, like, the petals falling from the Erd tree, and that gives you an extra boost to rune acquisition. I wish there was one of those for item acquisition. I wish when it was raining or something, it was like, hey, you get more items now. Let's boost Vigor as well. We're going to need Vigor sooner or later. Of course, a rain boost to item acquisition would be the ideal thing for the Weeping Peninsula. Quite difficult to rely on anywhere else. A great rune that give you 10 times item drop chance? Yeah. Patches, great rune. Who knew Patches was a shard bearer? That's why he asks you not to kill him. Or if in New Game Plus item drops were 10 times more likely? Yeah. Well, at least by that point, you've had a chance to get all of the talismans and stuff that boost item acquisition. Item discovery. Are you sure that didn't drop anything? Another human bone shard. Plus 75 from the silver scarab is almost useless. I mean, it's basically doubles what you start with. If you've got low arcane stat, anyway. Gotta eat your lucky lunch and check the TV? Yeah. Every day in Elden Ring is like, the spirits wish you great harm. The spirits are very displeased today, but when are they not? Yeah, everything in this game wishes you harm, yeah. Except for occasional NPCs. And even then, that's dependent on you not attacking them. Only the Turtle Pope will not attack you in exchange. Which is why he is too pure and will never die. I think we may have been here for close to a full hour now. I've started putting like chapter timestamps for specific boss encounters or dungeons, or like sometimes just to break things up in the VODs, just being like free roaming and exploring goes here. I feel like at the start of this one it's just going to have an entire section that's like farming the sword for an hour. This skeleton's worst day. What's up, Valwa Falconelli? Welcome in. Welcome to the skeleton farming stream. It keeps dropping human bone shards instead of the sword that we want. We have one, but not two, and we need one. We want two. We need a second one of these, ideally. Still don't have any talismans that we can equip, so... Give me your swords! Nope. What are we farming for? The Bandit's curved swords. One of which I currently am wearing, but I want to dual wield, so we want two. Yeah, it's like trying to farm drown for a trident. It's basically that. But yeah, then once we have two of the curved swords, we can go on a little quest to get the Ashes of War that we're going to be putting on them. We need to have a Dread Pirate Roberts moment. Inconceivable. Okay, we need 100 or so more runes. This is the sword that we want to use. Look how slashy it is. What if we put Sacred Blade on the Bandit's curved sword? Do you think that would help? If we're using the sword to get the sword? The sword is now sacred. For many reasons. Jellyfish, be my witness. I will have another one of these swords. Look how it glows. Another human bone shard. It's dropping stuff though. It's got the right idea. Let's equip this shield as well, just for, I don't know, extra style points. A golden sword, a golden shield. Does shield parry? It does, of course. Well, that's 2 human bone shards in a row. Just remembered you have a pot of jelly in the fridge. Oh, very nice. Still no armament. Definitely nice to have some extra reach compared to the Great Knife. I think the trick at this point is reverse psychology. We just have to pretend real hard that we don't want the sword. Who needs Bandit's curved swords anyway? Not me. I've already got one. The sunk cost fallacy is getting to him. Just want to know if any player got the sword. I mean, I got one. I just want 2. I'm quite tired now of obtaining human bone shards, let me tell you. Don't even have any crafting recipes that use them right now. I imagine they're probably used in, like, exalted flesh and stuff. The items that are like meat from a human. Yeah, you're being too greedy. You need to reach Nirvana first. Yes, we need to meditate on this under a tree. Like the Buddha. Become enlightened. Reject all material possessions. Except for the sword that we're using to kill this skeleton. Maybe this will work. Imagine an egg. Yum! Oh, the other thing about it being Thanksgiving means that there's going to be a new episode of Till Death Do Us Blart. Which, if you haven't heard it already, is the McElroy's podcast with another podcast called The Worst Idea of All Time. This feels like the second worst idea of all time. But they watch Paul Blart Mall Cop 2 every American Thanksgiving until they die. And the notion is that when one of them dies, the hosting duties are transferred to somebody who they nominate as their successor, and so it's like an eternal podcast that never stops. Which is going to be a great joke until one of them actually does die, and then who knows. At this point, I have 11 human bone shards. The app already dropped? Ah, good. Something that I will listen to later. Oh no, I harmed the jelly. I don't want the sword now. It'll be tainted with jellyfish murder. At this rate, we'll have a whole human soon. How many bones in the human body? Is it like 300 or something? Now, the jellyfish is fine. I didn't kill it. So... Yes! Yes! The second sword is mine. I can put my clothes back on. Alright, now you folks get to see. Yeah! The power stance moveset. Slash slash. You love to see it. Amazing. So just like that, the run can begin. Let's go and get the last Sacred Tear from Weeping Peninsula. And then we'll go and get runes from Greyoll. Although first I might... No, I mean, I know what stats I'm going to invest in. I was thinking first I might go and get the Ashes of War that I want to imbue these swords with. But that involves going to Caelid and Liurnia, so maybe we'll go and do Greyoll first, and then as we come back through Caelid, we can go to Fort Gale and get it there. Bong! I think in terms of talismans for this, I might actually also go and get the same talisman that we had before in the Backhand Blades playthrough. I think we might go and get the Winged Sword insignia. That feels like a good one to go and get. Right. So from here, we have everything we need to go and fight Greyoll. We'll also kill the Knights Cavalry in Caelid. Because it is night time, so we should have plenty of time to do that. We can also upgrade each of these swords to +1, because we already have 4 level 1 smithing stones. But I think we'll go and get the bell bearing that lets us buy +2s as well. And in theory, we could just go to Altus Plateau and get the ones that give you +3 and +4. But I don't know if I have the budget at this stage. Although with Greyoll and everything, we might. We'll see. Because we'll be done investing in levels for a little while at that point, so we can save up some money. So many vulgar militia. So little time. And if we end up resting at a grace, Melina will invite us to the round table hold. So we're not going to do that for a minute here. Hello, Greyoll. That sounds like everything is being set on fire behind me. I will ignore this. More golden runes. Still being mad up there. Okay, now comes the occasionally tricky part, and let's throw this on the pouch while we're at it. Oh no, you don't. Bring it on. Oh, maybe not. Hello? Friend? Okay, now the fight's actually started. I'm like, why is the boss bar not showing up? Oh, really came at me there. No, no, ah. Oh god. Let us dance, you and I. Oh, dang it. Well, you're sort of going down. See if we can trick him into falling off from there. Probably not. It might be a little bit too close. Come further out. Oh no, he teleported back. How long do you think this run will be? I reckon probably 7 or 8 hours. Judging by the length that our other runs have been finished, we'll probably be okay. Get wrecked. Okay, managed to do that without dying, which is nice. Bloodhound's Step would be a fun one to put on one of these swords, but... yeah, this run will take as long as it takes, but I don't think it'll be especially arduous. I don't have any optional objectives for this one, aside from get 2 of these swords and a couple of useful Ashes of War. So I think this is really going to be quite a straightforward one. The Banished Knight's Greatsword is next, and then the Banished Knight's Halberd is easier because that you can get hold of from Edgar the Revenger, and you get one that has a special Ash of War on it. So it's, yeah, nice and easy to obtain. Danished Knight. Imagine if they were all just, like, variations on the theme of Dan. Okay. Now Melna's going to invite us to the round table, which we'll ignore for the
Forgive me
moment.
To determine if you have. It seems torrent, whereas I may. There is, but I can take gathering place. Shall I let my hand share them with me?
We'll put some points into
Your
strength.
thoughts,
We'll put some points into
Your
int.
ambitions. The principles you
We'll
would
put
follow.
a couple into dex as well. Actually, just let's go 18s across the board. That should work out for now. We'll also add charge to flask. And we need to switch Ash of War to Wild Strikes. We'll make it standard, sure. Only thing we don't have right now is the recipe for blood grease, but we do have 2 blood grease that I picked up, so we might as well just use those. And then we'll need to go and do Fort Height anyway because of the piece of the Dectus medallion that's there, but do nothing. Take this opportunity to have a sip of water. A knight that eats Danishes. Yeah, the Danish knight. Oh, there we go. And now we're back to doing very minor damage. And the bleed build-up should still be fine. Only thing that having FP affects is how much damage a single swing does. And this last little stretch should be fine. About there we go. Say farewell to the Morning Star. And all the runes come in. Pretty good. Put a bunch of points into Vigor, a handful into Endurance, and then I think we're set for a while. These are the 3 stats we're going to be concentrating on. Endurance is good for dual wielding because we will need a lot of stamina to keep swinging. I'm going to go back to Carle to get some arrows before we do Fort Faroth, because we'll lose our runes in here. Although we could just level up these swords each once. So that's a good start.
Wait, well, you're
Standing in this man's fire. We'll need the arrows to do some leveling at Mogwin Palace later. So back at Fort Faroth, we'll do the run to Radagon's Soreseal. With 1 rune to rule them all. I still don't know what we're going to do in terms of outfit here. I like to keep the Bandit mask, I think. But I don't know if we're going to do anything else armor-wise. I don't know what our armor goals are here. Time to get poisoned. Oh, almost. Almost got poisoned. He's a robust man, is our Dan. Yeah, the one rune I have on me is the greatest rune I'll ever need. God, the rats hit so hard here. Especially these ones. Good thing I don't let them hit me. Beautiful. We spent one rune to go home. From here, we'll go and grab a couple of the runes that are over on top of this skull here. We'll do a quick jaunt down to Church of the Plague, but we're not going to be doing the quick skip into Radahn's arena this time around because we don't need to get to the DLC quickly or anything. But those are just some smithing stone 7s and 8s. Thank goodness for that. I might also quickly lure the dragon into the statue over here, because that's a really useful way of getting some runes that some smithing stones we'll need later. And while we're here in Dragon Barrow, we might as well. Hello! Come this way, please. Oh wait, no, it's not. Maybe it's not you. It's this one. These dragons are fortunately not blessed with fire, and so while this one is throwing a bit of a tantrum, it can't hit me from range. So maybe I should have encouraged it to follow me in a slightly different way. There we go. Alright, you. Just need to get it down here, basically. So menacing. This is the new How to Train Your Dragon movie. It's basically this. How to Train Your Dragon to Destroy a Statue. Please to destroy. Thank you kindly. And from here it should disappear. Wonderful. So that's some smithing stone 5s that we'll use later. Now, since we're in Caelid, while the going's good, let's head over to the place we can cross this ravine more easily, which is over there. We could also pop in and attempt to get the gold scarab talisman now, which might not be a bad idea, or maybe I'll just get the grace so we can do it easily later. Just got curious and looked up Danishes because I've never actually been sure if they originated here or if it's just another misunderstanding. Apparently they are from here, originally from Austrian bakers, adopted by Danish bakers, and we call them Vienna bread. That's really cool. Thank you for sharing. Always so fascinated to hear stuff like that. Like the traditions and how they're handed down. Did you know, for folks who are in the UK and know what a Cornish pasty is, did you know that there is a community in, I think, Mexico somewhere, although maybe another, like, sort of Central American country, where there's a community where Cornish pasties are like a traditional food, but they're called pastés. And they're very different from the empanadas that you might be familiar with in like other Spanish and Spanish-speaking cuisines. But they are basically just Cornish pasties, and the reason is because there was an emigration of Cornish miners at a time when the mining prospects in that area were just getting started, and they decided, yeah, rich veins here, we can mine these. And so, like, Cornish miners came over and brought the concept of a Cornish pasty with them. And so there's just this random place in, like, Latin America, basically, that has pasties as, like, a thing. Which is really fun. Yeah, since we got, like, no runes, I might as well try doing this now and see how far we get. We can backstep through here just to make sure I don't get Scarlet Rot, if possible. Okay, that should do it. Grab a couple of the butterflies just in case we need rotten grease later. And I don't have any means of making this any lighter, so I'll have to do this cave by memory, but we might be okay. Because we're already doing a decent amount of damage with +1 swords and just getting in a couple of decent swings. The main thing is I don't want to get jumped by enemies or poisoned, ideally. And, yeah, a lot of stuff in here does rot damage. Well, the rats there had rune eyes, but we're not going to worry about that now. Oh no, you don't. I'm just leaving. Who needs to fight these guys? Not me. Alright, let's see how well this fight goes. We wasted the heal from that, but having some extra strength is not going to hurt. That, on the other hand, is... Yeah, thought so. Okay, I think we're not quite ready for this. We probably need to level up some more, so I won't try that a second time. But now we have the Grace, we can at least get back there very easily. An area of Utah where pasties are a local food, some state close by. Ah. Yeah, I think a few places obviously will have them, but it's just kind of interesting to understand the history of how they got there. At least to me. Well. Yeah, I've heard of kolaches. Mostly from listening to the Rooster Teeth podcast for a while and everybody insisting that they were the best thing. I've never tried them, so would love to at some point. Oh, cool, and now we're in this part of Caelid. Huh, interesting. Well, we can make it to Fort Gale from here, we just have to go that way, so... We don't actually need to go into Fort Gale either, we're only there for the scarab that's running around on the outside. I'm actually not certain if we will use it much, but since we are going to be infusing one of these swords with cold, we're going to have a high int stat, which means it's not a bad idea for us to get occasional sorceries, just in case they'll be useful, and I feel like Rock Sling might be a fun one. I'm still not entirely certain what this build is going to be, but for the stats we're going to have, we might as well have some supporting abilities, you know? So I'll grab the Meteorite Staff while I'm here, just to have a staff to use. Since we have Rock Sling now, it might be a worthwhile combo. We know that thing does pretty well against some of the early game stuff. Oh, Torrent is too tired to jump. I'm sorry. They do look very tasty, yeah. I dare say they are.
Welcome.
Ah!
Dear customer. Yes, right.
Nope, not that way. This way. I'm hungry. Those merchants are always so odd. That is Lifesteal Fist, which we will not be using. Hi, Caelid. DJ Khaled, back out here. Oh, something's seen me. Probably a bird. One of the many hateful birds. One of the many hateful birds that I will now try to avoid by going over this in a really awkward manner. Street of Sages. Oh, I've gone actually kind of the wrong way, but also kind of the right way, because if I go down this way, I don't end up aggroing a ton of the dogs, which is ideal, really, because they're a pain to avoid once they're on you. And if we get down to this site of grace, I can at least have a checkpoint in case I get murdered by something. So I think we stand somewhere around, like, here is the part where this this thing's trail, like, crosses over a couple of times. Or maybe it's up this way. Yeah, there's a message here. It's probably here. Here! Yeah. Gotta get the timing. There we go. That's one. See you later, Ken. I have a good one. Safe travels if you're on the road. So we'll swap Sacred Blade for Flame of the Red Mains and give it the Fire Affinity, which changes the Strength scaling to be better and the Dex scaling to be worse. But that's fine, because we're going to be leveling Strength and Faith, or Strength and Intelligence, rather. With that done, we are going to Liurnia. And from Liurnia, I think we'll go and do Lucaria Crystal Tunnel to get the Bell Bearing. And then we'll do Stormveil and focus on Varre's quest after that. Because Varre's quest will take us to Altus Plateau anyway. From there we can do the sealed tunnel to get the 3 and 4 Bell Bearing, and we'll probably have enough runes that we can manage everything else. Honestly, we could skip Stormveil entirely and do Raya Lucaria. Would be an interesting way of doing it. I also need to go back and do Fort Height. I haven't forgotten about that. I'm trying to think of what else was really going to benefit our play style here in terms of talismans that you can get from Stormveil. I feel like the Claw Talisman, if we want to do some of those like jumping double swing kind of attacks. But then there's also a couple of other talismans that will be really useful for the fighting style we have in mind. See you later, Ginger. Have a good one. If you're around on Sunday, I think I'm probably streaming this Sunday, so I will see you then, and if not, have a great weekend. Hello, Topes. Not going to worry too much about handling any of Topes' stuff this time. I suppose the question is it faster to do Raya Lucaria than Stormveil? Because you've got to fight Margit to get into Stormveil, but then it's basically a straight shot to Godrick. But then with Raya Lucaria, you've got to fight Red Wolf of Radagon, and then it's a fairly straight shot to Renala. So I'm honestly not certain which is better. We'll ignore all the Wraith Callers. We'll grab this since it's one more smithing stone that we don't have to buy. And obviously they're all over Leonia. I'm just trying to save myself too much running around. We'll get the Academy Gatefront Grace. We're going to hop over here, double back and head down, find the teleporter that warps us to EG, and then we're looking for a scarab in a lake just kind of southeast of Caria Manor. What have you got? Crystal Cave Moss. Very nice. Okie doke. This will get us a slice of the map. I really wish EG sold the regular smithing stones and not the somber ones, but there you go. This time around, we haven't even done the Darrowell fight, but that's okay, because we're not even talking to EG at this point. Instead, we're avoiding the security system, sticking close-ish to the cliffs. And by the time we get to the lake down here, it should actually not bother us too much. There we go. And now this is where we need to be. Yeah. It's a bigger one than you expect every time. But that is Hoarfrost's Stomp, which is the skill we're going to use to get the cold affinity. We're going to hop across here and get the Sacred Tear from Bellum Church now, so we don't have to worry about that later. Say hello to this merchant. Then if we go down here, where is the spot that we can drop down? It's on the other side over there somewhere? Because we want to be over here. So I guess we can get there from here, right? Continue southeast. And then there's a little cluster of those climbable gravestones in the southeast corner of this little landscape. Yeah, because these are the ones that you use to jump onto the Wandering Mausoleum. I'm fairly certain. Oh. And yeah, around the corner here. To get to these. Drop on down. Can just do this walking, no need to make it more of a pain. And that gets us neatly, actually, to Lucaria Crystal Tunnel. Secret tunnel. And in here we'll get the bell bearing for Smithing Stones 1 and 2. We'll get a bunch of Smithing Stone 3s for free. Hey, Nordic, welcome in. We're on our Bandit's Curved Sword game. And honestly, you're not doing too badly right now. Once we actually acquired the sword, anyway. That might be a fun skill to acquire. Oh yeah, these are somber. We don't need those. He died for nothing! Yeah, we might be able to get some of the Rock Blaster and some of those skills. Might be a fun one to have. Thank you. Oh, I can't get past him. There we go. Nice. Golden runes. Not going to worry about the rest of these. Miners. They'll probably follow me, but that one's going to die when he drops down here, probably. Oh, I guess not. Huh. Maybe I should have worried about those miners. My swords don't do a whole lot of damage to them, unfortunately, but the stone skin is something we don't need to worry about too much on other enemies. Reba, your first Pixel Rift stream. Welcome in. Hope you're having a good day. Not sure if we equipped the Stomp yet. No, we did not. We probably should, because that might do more damage to them, because it's magic damage, right? Flasks. Let's quickly add that. And then Ashes of War. Frost Stomp. Cold Affinity. Probably gets us slightly better damage because of our stats now anyway. Yeah, I was sort of thinking about upgrading them before I even worry about the damage that they deal, but... it's not bad, I guess. We'll just briefly hop over here to get one of these. Since we're not going to get the Smithing Stone 3 bell bearing for a minute here. We do have 2 swords to upgrade, so we need all the stones we can get. At least to begin with. I'm trying to work out if Flame of the Red Mains or Hoarfrost Stomp is the more valuable skill to have in the main hand, because it shouldn't really matter that much which one we use the rest of the time. Or likewise, I guess the affinities, whether it's better to primarily attack with a cold weapon or a flame weapon in terms of the general enemy vulnerabilities. I don't know. Ow. Still got me. Excuse. Yeah, how's it feel? How's it feel to be struck with a flurry of blows? Been struck by a smooth criminal. It's me, Dan Bandit. Nope, 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 nope. No, you don't. Serpentine to avoid the arrows. Haha, I took all your stuff. Losers! Get wrecked. Oh, here comes a guy. About to die full damage. Or maybe he didn't even bother. Sensible, I think. Okay, time for figuring out what poise breaks effectively. Okay, there we go. That'll do. Nice. I'll take it. That was decent. So now where do we go? Do we do Stormvale or do we do Academy? I think at the very least we go to the Round Table Hold, which I don't think I have yet, so... You got a little something. Little something going on there. Alright. Yes, we're off to Round Table Hold, finally.
Very well. Let my hand rest upon you for but a moment.
Time for but a moment. Skrillex getting married. Yeah. let's briefly talk to Gideon, because I'm pretty sure we have to.
I can't remember very well. It is. I'll you, a house, remember you. There's no.
Talk to Rodrika.
My name isn't this the round head. I never knew, although I'm still looking.
I don't know if spirit tuning is going to be super necessary, but I guess we'll find out.
You're no mad lad, you're... Look, she's crazy. She has it. I saw in her eye.
Oh, yeah, no, we need way more smithing stone wands, I guess. So, let's go hand those in with the bell-bearing traders first.
It's all up. I'm still looking. You'll tell. I don't believe. If I do, I suppose I'll ask Master. Certainly, I know he's tracking town.
What up, Ensha? Don't think we should need to do the consecrated snowfield this time around. So we got 3 of these. We need. Okay, we need 4 for the next upgrade, so we'll need another 4, and then we'll need another 6 for each. So that's an additional 12. 17. Oh, this is going to be expensive. This is going to get very expensive.
Back all no matter.
And now we need enough runes to upgrade. That literally took every rune I had. I have no runes left. Luckily I have plenty to spare, but now we need to buy smithing stone 2s. But +5 on both swords is not bad.
Look up. My hoods absurd. I don't.
Alright, Hugo's all set up. We don't need to go and get a hug today. Let's do Stormveil. Might as well just do Stormveil. Once we've got some runes from fighting Margit and Godrick, we can go and upgrade the swords even further. I mean, I have 6,000. That's not too terrible, and yeah, our level threshold is at 10,000 right now, so this fight shouldn't be too difficult, and we'll at least be able to get another talisman pouch. Oh, that's the other thing we could do, actually. Before we fight Margit, we might as well go and get the talismans that we'll need. So we can go and kill the Cleanrot Knight in the Leonia drowned cave, whatever the thing is. Because that'll get us the winged sword insignia, and that's going to deal a lot of extra damage if we keep spamming L1s. I reckon we'll manage. Hope everyone in chat is well. Hope you're all having a lovely Thursday. Remember that if you want to watch some more of these playthroughs of the A to Z, then they are all now close to being up to date on my Pixel VODs channel. The Astrologer Staff playthrough is Loy XP, which includes all of the DLC, is currently being uploaded. And I'll be putting the rest of the playthroughs since then up on pretty much like every 6 hours, like at 9 and 3 my time, there'll be a fresh chapter of those. So lots to look forward to if you're keeping an eye on over there. I'm now going to be very poisoned, but that's okay. Par for the course in this place. We don't need to worry about being poisoned so much as we need to worry about being hit by things that deal damage. But yeah, considering we deal 4 hits very quickly in succession there, I think this is going to be a really worthwhile talisman for us to have. Oh, thanks, Dan, for putting that in chat. I appreciate that. Yep, bring it. Still poisoned, so better heal. He knocked me over enough with that first hit that I just didn't need to worry about any of the follow-up attacks. Oh, and now I'm going to die because of the poison. Dang it. Okay, I was really close. At least we have a stake of Marika, so we can come in without being poisoned and try and fight on land. Took a little bit too much damage from that next flurry of attacks. The runes were worth saving, so... Take this for the extra strength boost. No, you don't. Come over here and fight me. That I need to be trying to use a little bit more. Yeah, there you go. Just gonna heal up just in case. Really does not use a whole lot of FP for that attack being as powerful as it is. So yeah, Winged Sword Insignia is going to be huge. That should also now get us enough runes to level up one more time, and we can go into Margit with nothing just in case. From what I understand of the mechanics of Winged Sword Insignia, there are like 3 tiers that it gives of boosts to your attack. It's like plus 3%, plus 5%, plus 8%, or something like that. And that stacks with Millicent's Prosthesis, it stacks with the Mixed Physic tier that does the same effect. And so you can end up getting like plus 20 or so damage bonus after just inflicting a few hits, which is really, really useful. So right now, Strength gives something to our... It gives 1 to our left-hand armament and 2 to our right-hand armament. Dexterity just affects the left-hand armament, and Intelligence just affects the left-hand armament. So Strength is a good stat to level. And we'll see how this goes.
In search of the Elden Ring.
Hello, Morgott. Been a while.
Emboldened by the flame of ambition.
Yeah, flame, you say. Of the Redmanes, perhaps. Twice my height. I wish I had seen Flame of the Redmanes when it was at its peak in terms of poise damage, because you could basically poise break most enemies with Flame of the Redmanes back in the day, back in like the original patch of the game. Oh, managed to get a tiny heal out of that. Oh. Alright, please, let me heal. Let me heal. Thank you. Nice. Oh, we got the frostbite right at the end there. That's the intended goal here, is to deal enough damage that you get a frostbite with the left-hand sword, and then immediately like cure that with the right-hand sword, and just keep inflicting those extra hits. So yeah, strength is just going to continue to build both of these. Yeah, I think we'll go for 20 strength. We'll aim for a high strength stat, because that's going to affect both the sword's attack rating, and then obviously vigor. Endurance is fine, we could probably do with a little more. And then strength and dex will sort of level evenly. Sorry, dex and intelligence will try and level evenly. Easiest kill ever? I mean, it was a pretty sloppy fight, but we did okay. Hello, Ghostock.
Come, it's tight. Oh, God, you'll breach the... Well, but of course...
Going through the main gates, so... in before we get absolutely hammered with ballista bolts.
The gates! Open the gates!
Might actually equip Radagon's Saw Seal for now, because it's going to give us a little extra stat in some of this. Okay, cool. We'll try and avoid the Omen line here. Alright, we're in. Think he gives it to every Tarnished he sees, or just us? Probably gives you the full monologue. Foul Tarnished. In search of the Elden Ring. Excuse me. These guys are going to follow me up the stairs, and I will probably get exploded by flame bolts about here. Also. As long as I don't get hit by that guy as well, that's the important bit. Okay. Into Stormvale we go. Just gonna hop over these incredibly spiky things designed to keep people out. I think they're more designed to keep horses out than individual people, but, you know. I'm a ninja at this point, so... No hit Godrick? Unlikely. Probably get hit by Godrick at least twice. First try Godrick, more likely. Him and Malekith sitting at a table talking about what adjectives they like to use. I was thinking foul. I was thinking loathsome. Witless? I think witless is a good one. Graceless. Graceless also. Just remind them of things they don't have. Stormcaller is a useful one if we want to fight the Falling Star Beasts later. Yeah, Maidenless is already covered by Varre. Since we will need 2 Ancient Dragon Smithing Stones this time around, I'm probably going to go and say hi to Nefeli, because finishing her questline means we'll get access to 2 of them from both her and Gostok's shop. And so that's going to be really useful, actually. Hey, man. Okay, didn't leave myself enough stamina left to roll there, so... Raw! So the only problem with this setup is a relative lack of poise break ability. But that's kind of why we're spamming status onto them, right?
Be proud. You were a fine warrior. The only mistake was your choice of master. Let the, well, tarnished. I am here by how Otis Graft is tainted them. If I ask you, call the winds run. I'm certain for. I'll pass fellow town down, whatever.
Alright, cool. Nefeli is now our good friend. Maidenless, pantsless, yeah. So many things. So now we have Nefeli's summon sign, which we're not going to use, but it's there. Godrick time. We're watching the cutscenes this time around. The thumbnails.
Mighty dragon. Thou art a true born heir.
Also, is it me or is that dragon's head already kind of
Thy
off?
strength, O kindred.
It already kind of looks like a sock puppet.
Deliver me unto greater heights. Well. A lowly tarnished. Playing as a lord. I command thee, kneel! I am the lord of all that is golden.
Alright. Here he is. The man, the myth. The many-fingered. Okay, that's one hit. That's 2 hits. Not gonna be a no-hit Godrick, huh? It's a good thing he has delayed attacks because that gives me time to get my stamina back. Okay, there's our frostbite. We'll keep attacking because that can proc more frostbites. Nice, we finally got a stagger, which felt like it took forever, and then it just wouldn't show me where to crit him, I guess. Unusual, but... Just gonna get a quick heal in here, just because I don't want to die to Godrick, but he's giving me an easy opening, so we'll take it.
I am the Lord of all that is cold.
You think he's left-handed or like fifth from the right-handed? He's got a lot of choice to
Return together,
figure out which hand he prefers to write with, yeah.
bathed in rays of gold.
Is there any debris hanging in the air today? No, not so much. Okay, that's that. Need to talk to Gostock to make sure we've exhausted his dialogue for... Oh wait, no, he's not there yet, because we need to rest the grace. Yeah, we need to exhaust his dialogue for future quest stuff. Yeah, we can't equip the Great Rune yet, because we need to go to the Divine Bridge.
What happened? Oh,
Hello.
he got, what tell you though, he had. Now I can I? Now I can
Okay,
I?
cool. Do you actually have anything I will need? Silver pickled foul feet aren't going to be useful. You've got all my armor and starting equipment. Yeah, the rest of that's fine. We're good. Stampy Headman. So let's rest here. Nefeli should now be back at the round table hold, so we can go there. We'll go back and do Fort Height. And then the rest is Varre's quest, I guess. Yeah, I think you need to talk to Gideon for Nefeli to show up here, basically.
I thought you'd receive Nefeli, Luke. I'm glad to see. I found it in you were the one to make good use. I don't intend to. I wonder if he's in his stud. If you haven't, all father is, I'm sure, to. I'll see you again.
Alright, cool. So now she'll be at Albinoric Village. We can rest here at the table. That should unlock Gideon's study. And we'll also be able to go in here and talk to Enya. And by proxy, the Two Fingers.
Great Elden Ring, root of the Golden Order.
Alright, bye. At this point, we're going to... Yeah, we need +5, don't we? I thought we were at +5, but it was looking at the +5 upgrade next. So, let's buy ourselves some more Smithing Stone 2. For which we'll need... 4. And then 6 for each. Yeah, okay, great. That should work out. And I think Hugh should be able to fully upgrade these. And then we'll get into the +3 upgrades too.
Now, those are for challenge. Find them well.
We lay out our arms. And now we can get these two up to +8 and +7 respectively. Which is not too bad. This is scaling on a C for Dex when we upgrade it next. So that's potentially where the split becomes more important. Still, we can pop back to the Mistwood. Actually, we'll talk to Kenneth first, because I think we need to do that for Nefeli's quest to progress. And even if we don't, you know, he gets us an Erdsteel dagger or whatever, so... For Nefeli to be crowned king at Stormvale, I think Kenneth Height is at least somewhat necessary. We also need to go and get the Dectus Medallion, so we're doing his fort anyway.
Hello? Is anybody there? Someone who might
It's
be
me, Kenneth. Shut up.
Well, no. Despite a you might have untarnished. I want you to tonight. What my fort? Oh, I threaten a celebrity. I that depraved. Honestly, God first. He then.
Yeah, Godrick's dead, mate.
To think there. What my fort?
He's like, I would be steering clear of Godrick and his tarnished hunts. I'm like, Godrick won't be a problem. Get Bloody Slash for blood build-up. Right now, I'm aiming for this Cold Fire combo, which should work out relatively well for me long-term. Especially against some of the bosses that are immune to bleed and stuff. But yeah, right now I don't have the whetstones I need to keep the affinities on those weapons and still get the skills from other weapons, so, or from other Ashes of War, sorry. So I'm not going to worry about it, but we might as well get the blood roses just in case we want to use bleed later, because then the blood grease recipe is in here. Yo, Azuma! Thank you for the raids. I'm locked in here with a guy and a rat. Several rats, in fact. This is terrible. Hello! Welcome on in, folks. Thank you so much for the raid, Azuma. What were you folks up to today? What was X playing? Alright, now that guy's out of the way. Welcome to Elden Ring. This is a fantastic game in the sort of Dark Souls lineage, if not necessarily a Dark Souls game, by the same developers. If you're unfamiliar with it, it was Game of the year it was released, and is potentially going to get the Game of the Year. I think it's at least nominated Game of the Year for the DLC. But I am currently playing through this game with every weapon in alphabetical order. So right now I'm using the Bandit's curved swords, which means we've beaten the game with every weapon starting with A. Oh, Factorio! Nice, yeah. Super fun. A lot of people getting back into Factorio with Satisfactory release and stuff as well, so good time to be into that. The automation and everything. And it's quite hard to beat. So yeah, the Dark Souls formula in general, they are considered quite tough games, but this is the point at which I know this game well enough that I'm just finding whatever is the most broken and powerful abilities that I can conjure. So at this stage, I'm doing pretty well for myself. And yeah, we're just going to be scooting around doing a couple of quests that allow me to level up this character nice and easily. And if you're unfamiliar with this, none of it's going to make any sense, so that's fine. You can just sit around, vibe, have a good time. If you need to raid and run, I completely understand, but thank you once again to Azuma for the raid. Hope you'll have a great rest of your day if you're heading off. And if you're new here, you might be familiar with my voice from the Hermitcraft recap. My name is Pixelriffs. I stream Minecraft and Elden Ring basically 3 times a week, most weeks. And you might know me from Hermitcraft Recap, the Spawn Chunks on my own YouTube channel, where I have the Minecraft Survival Guide series.
Right, what's that look? Well, even the vulgar, which is why just you. Would you like? I see bright. Enter, and who knows? What say you?
I think this is the point where we have to do something like pledge our service in order for Nepheli to end up in Stormvale. We can go back and talk to Kenneth later if not. Either way, let's head up here to the Rose Church and talk to Varre, and then we'll go from there. So we're going to be jumping off bridges and dodging lots of attacks and talking to suspicious-looking individuals for a little bit. And then we're going to take an elevator. Yeah, the thing about one-shot builds in this game is that I find the majority of them need you to have a very specific set of equipment and then this whole routine of applying buffs to your character, and I find that part kind of tedious because of the amount of like practice that you need for menuing and timing things and making sure you apply stuff in the right order and everything, and that's the kind of stuff that I just find too fiddly. So I'm not going for like that broken, but I'm going for like what makes it easy enough that I can play through with minimal risk, I guess. We need to go this way to get the easy grace to get back here. I think it's up on top of this ruined slice. Yeah, Mogwin Bird Farm is the idea. I do that basically every run now because it's just a nice straightforward way of getting runes in between streams, and then I can come back on the next stream and I'm like over level 100 and have points allocated into stats that matter. And then at that point we can just get on with the remainder of the run. Right. From here, Fallen Ruins on the Lake is good. We don't need the map fragment. We're going to head up to Altus Plateau. Which maiden will you take the blood from? We usually get the one at Church of Inhibition. Because I know you can do that with Arena, but I don't know. I feel bad for her. It's either Church of Inhibition or Church of Anticipation, and I can't really be bothered fighting the Grafted Scion again, but we need to go up here for the Sacred Tier anyway, so I kind of do that to kill two birds with one stone, as it were. Only problem is it means fighting Fingerprint Vike, who's a bit of a pain, but not the worst. We'll see how easy it is to fight him with this build. We'll get the Dectus Lift Grace first. Make sure we go and take out the tower. Stupid frenzy status effects, yeah. It won't be too bad, though. I'm trying to figure out what we want to do in terms of Wondrous Physic Flask, because there's a couple of ways we could do it. We could get the Flame Shrouding and Magic Shrouding tiers, which will boost the elemental damage of the weapons, or we can just get the ones that improve strength and dex. I'm not certain what our best options are, but gonna wait for the madness effect to go away before we have to fight the rats. There we go. Alright. The rest of this should be fine. Defense and poise tiers so you don't get knocked off your damage. Maybe, but we could also level endurance and get a better set of armor for poise. Okay, the Eye of Sauron is above us, but a couple of slashes here and... yeah, just about made it. Nice. And then hit the Grace over here. Yeah, I haven't really considered using the poise increase tier too much, but I suppose that makes sense for a weapon set like this. And yeah, once you kill the 6 guys at the top of the tower who are channeling the Eye of Shabriri, it never comes back. Including if you, like, reload, because those guys just permanently die. So, kind of handy. Take that, Sauron. Yeah, it turns out quite easy. Don't know why they made 3 movies about that. Just poke him in the eye, dude. Hello, Vike. Oh, you have flames, huh? Me too! Oh, no, you don't. Not bad. Oh. I like the running, like, double slash thing. That kind of reminds me of the backhand blades. That's pretty good. Yeah, all the NPC invasions you see in this are going to be scripted. The only time other players can invade you is if you're in co-op, and I'm not in co-op. So we can get the Grace here, grab the Sacred Tear, head up to another PvP fight up on the Altus Plateau. And then we'll have everything we need to do the warp to Mogwin Palace. Oh, wrong one. There we go. So our flasks are now at +7, which is pretty good. We can get them on +9 if we go and get the Sacred Tears up on the Altus Plateau. Where is the other one? The one I don't have yet. Not sure. There isn't one at the Rose Church. We got the one from Topes' church. Not sure. Because there's 2 on Altus. There's 3 on Weeping Peninsula. We got the one from the 3rd Church of Marika. We won't get the 2 on Mountaintops until later. Liara with the 75-month resub. Thank you so much. Welcome back. The numbers, boy, they do keep getting bigger. That's not concerning at all. Yeah, I think Tuxedo Cat was here earlier, resubscribing for 82 months, which I think is the longest sub I have. Shows you how long I've been affiliate or partner for, right? Map of Altus, at least. I don't need anything from the merchant, I don't think, but I feel like the merchants always sell the coolest shields. No need for those for me, because I'm dual wielding, but I do like the idea of using shields more in these playthroughs, just to change up the playstyle slightly. We might do that with the Banished Knight's Sword, actually. I was considering that, making that a dual wielding playthrough as well, and trying to be like the one dude in Castle Sol. The absolute Chad with the 2 swords, but yeah, I think we'll probably end up maybe going sword and shield and kind of keeping it old school. All I have to do now is fight Magnus the Beastclaw and not beef it, so well, let's see how we do, eh? Interesting title. Am I really going to beat Elden Ring with every weapon? That is the plan. It does take, like, if I did a playthrough every week for a year, it would probably take me about 8 years to get through the full list of weapons. So we are just going to see how far we can get. But we've had a lot of fun so far, and I beat the game with every weapon that begins with A. So, yeah, it's going to take a while. I'm going to Flame of the Red Mains to start this one off. Maybe throw in a Hoarfrost Stomp for good measure. I need to work out how this ash works, but evidently it works okay. Nice. Flame of the Red Mace is just solid, though. You're not Malekith, don't try to be. Okay, I have no cerulean flasks, because I guess I only came in with one, right? So, gotta be a little careful about this. Save the stamina. Yeah, he's a problem when he two-hands, so we want to avoid that wherever possible, because his jumping heavies and the lion's claw is really bad. Let's make sure we can heal, though. Nice. Okay, good. Good finish. Including shields and staffs. I'm not including shields except for thrusting shields, because they're the only ones that deal any actual damage. But staves, yes. Like, we've already had Academy Glintstone Staff, Azur's Glintstone Staff, Astrologer's Staff. So I've done, like, several sorcery playthroughs already. And, yeah, if we hop down from here, we can go and get the other Sacred Tears. Oh yeah, while I'm on Altus, I also wanted to get the Bell Bearing that lets us buy Smithing Stones 3 and 4. Because I think at this point we do need a few of each. So we'll do a bit of a round tour of Altus, and then we'll be basically done with stream anyway, because we'll be at Mogwin. So I just need to buy a bow and then farm birds. Am I making playthroughs with every weapon or just speedrunning as fast as possible? I'm trying to build a character, but we're not like speedrunning in the sense that I'm, you know, glitching the game and like skipping large segments and playing the game in unintended ways, but I'm also at the point now where we beat the last playthrough in like just over 5 hours. And that was with a weapon from the DLC, so we take a fast route to get to the DLC, and then we just like find the talismans that work for it, find anything that helps support the build. And that's really the way it goes with every playthrough these days. Start the stream farming skeletons, end it farming birds, basically, yeah. But yeah, we're not going to the DLC with every playthrough. We're not, like, completing all of the boss fights or even all of the, like, major bosses, the remembrance bosses. I'm not worrying about, like, doing all of that on every playthrough. I just want to see the end credits with each weapon, but that's mainly just for the purposes of making each playthrough unique and interesting. And, so that I can get through the weapons in a reasonable amount of time. Let's walk back to Altus Highway. Just realized I'm the Minecraft YouTuber. I am. I'm still the Minecraft YouTuber. Because, yeah, Minecraft Survival Guide is currently in Season 3. I stream a bit of that every time before I stream Elden Ring. Except for when I play Elden Ring on off days where I don't normally stream at all. But, yeah, still trying to do 2 or 3 Minecraft streams a week, and the videos will be back relatively soon. It's just been difficult to find the time with like renovations happening on my house and stuff. But late game weapons like Sacred Relic, we're planning on doing New Game Plus runs for those with basically the character that we last completed the game with. We go to Renala, we respec, we, you know, use the remembrance that gets us the weapon. I think we'll do the same with stuff like Hand of Melania that's just like so deep in the game that we don't really feel like we can use the weapon for anything significant before it's over, you know? But yeah, if we get like, Albinauric Bow was probably the latest in a run that we actually acquired the weapon, because that's in the Consecrated Snowfield, but we still, like, went there and farmed it and then did the rest of the playthrough. We'd beaten Morgott by that point, but we could at least go and beat, like, Fire Giant, Farum Azula, like, all of the stuff that happens in the back half of the game with a bow, which was my first time ever beating the game with a bow as a primary weapon, so it felt very strange, but we did it. So we'll do that with Marika's hammer and the Elden Beast's sword. We'll do that with... We were going to do that with Axe of Godfrey, because Godfrey is like the second to last boss of the game. But then I did a randomizer for that playthrough. So I ended up finding the Axe of Godfrey in a cave on the Weeping Peninsula, which made it slightly easier to do a full playthrough with that instead of doing a New Game Plus run. And then we came back and did Axe of Godrick in the fastest time I think I've beaten Elden Ring up till that point. And since then, they've been getting quicker. Okay, so flasks are now on +8. What about Ashes of War? Do you freestyle without a plan for each weapon, or do I have a plan? I try and plan ahead for a few of them. And some of it is based on advice I've read on the Elden Ring wiki as I kind of get to grips with some of the systems in this game. And some of it is just kind of what I want to do and, like, the vision I have for it. Like, with Backhand Blade, we tried a similar build to what I'd done with the Spiked Cestus on my second playthrough of this game, where you focus on stuff like the Winged Sword Insignia and Millicent's Prosthesis and anything that gives you additional damage for doing rapid attacks. And that build absolutely shredded. And I imagine a few people have come up with similar builds because, you know, it's a logical way to build for that kind of weapon, but I don't think I'd read too much on the wiki about that one first. I just kind of went, yeah, I think I know how I'm going to do this one. But I don't know if I'll ever end up using every Ash of War in the game, but I think we'll naturally end up using a lot of them just because they come on certain weapons by default. So I will end up using stuff like Spinning Strikes, because that's on the Banished Knight's Halberd, which is 2 playthroughs from now, and we get that from beating Edgar the Revenger at his, like, mad shack on Liurnia Cliffside. Yeah, we'll end up using a bunch of the unique weapons, obviously, but then there are some that will have a lot of fun putting new skills on just to see what works for what. In this case, like, I haven't really used Flame of the Redmanes or Hoarfrost Stomp much. I think I had put Hoarfrost Stomp on a katana on my first ever playthrough of this, when I was, like, dual-wielding katanas. But then, yeah, I think it's going to be fun figuring out how to integrate that stuff into gameplay. The goal is, throughout all of the A weapons, we're sort of learning archetypes of the game, I guess. And throughout all of the B weapons is kind of like, okay, now we know some of that stuff, how can we really improve on things? And then by, like, the C and D weapons, I'm hoping that I have enough experience with this game that, like, we can just work on making combat feel really fluid and stylish, and stunting on bosses, and, like, knowing patterns well enough that I don't even have to worry too much about, like, how difficult the boss is, because I can just roll and jump at the right times, and, like, have strategies already in my head for every type of weapon. Obviously, later on, there's going to be some weapons that only have, like, 1 or 2 examples, like whips. There's only a couple of those in this game, and they all start from, like, G onwards, so I don't know how those are going to feel to play, but Can I inquire about the streaming schedule? Yeah, I stream Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. Sundays, sometimes I have other stuff that I do, so Tuesdays and Thursdays are typically the ones that I stick to. I play Minecraft from 1 until 4 GMT, and then from 4 until 7, or like maybe we run over a little bit, like it's coming up to 7 now. It's past 7 now. But yeah, I play Elden Ring, like 4 PM GMT. Good luck with Whip. Yeah, yeah, Whip is going to be pretty far down the roster. But if you want to see the amount of weapons in this game, you can go to the Elden Ring wiki, find the weapon comparison table article, and just sort that by name, and that's the list I'm using of all of the weapons from A to Z, and there are 408 of them total, so it's going to be huge. Roy, since you're asking if you wanted to see any of the previous playthroughs, some of them are still here on Twitch, but obviously I've been doing this for a little while now, so you'll find some of the others on my VODs channel at youtube.com/pixelvods, which Dan has helpfully put a link to in chat. Thank you, Dan. But yeah, if you go, there's an Elden Ring A to Z playlist on there that has everything in the order I did it, starting with Astrologer's Staff and then working on down, right? Okay, we don't have enough Sacred Tears, so we got +9. If I had a favourite A weapon, Anvil Hammer with a bullet. Anvil Hammer was, like, absurdly fun. It was the second colossal weapon I'd ever used, the first being Ancient Meteoric Ore Greatsword, which was another DLC weapon that was very, very fun. But in the case of Anvil Hammer, it was just absolutely hilarious to use. And it's really, really fun. Yeah, that, and honestly, by the time we got to Azur's Glintstone stuff, I was having a lot of fun with sorcery as well, because that thing was just absurdly powerful. But yeah, I'd never used colossal weapons before this. I'd always found them too slow, but adapting to that playstyle was just a riot, because it's really fun to just hit things with a heavy object. Right, now we can offer this bell bearing. And I need 10 of these, I guess. And then 24 of these, which is going to be a tall order. I do have Godrick's Remembrance, so we can smash that. We can probably crush a couple more of these. So that gets us up to 24 like that. Okay, great. So now we can have +12 on both swords. We do already have a couple of Smithing Stone 5s, so one of them could probably end up +5 or +13, I guess.
Back already, no matter.
This upgrade is going to be fairly costly as well, but huh, do we not have enough Smithing Stones? I guess I didn't upgrade that one all the way, right? It was +3 or +4 or something. The staves basically give you free reign to build whatever sorcerer build you want, since they all add to a generic scaling. I mean, yeah, you just kind of figure out what spells you want to specialize in, and a lot of the staves actually have like a specific type of spell school that they boost the sorceries of. So like with Meteorite Staff, we're going to be using that for the gravity sorceries. With the Carrion Royal Scepter, we're going to be using that for full moon sorceries, and so on and so forth. Azur's Glintstone Staff didn't boost any specific school of sorcery, but it did increase your casting time, so I didn't have to worry about talismans and dexterity for that. I could just, like, build as high into intelligence as I wanted to, and, like, Azur's armor set improves the damage that Comet Azur does, so we just specialized in that, used a lot of Comet, and yeah, just had fun with it, basically. Alright, back to the Rose Church to speak to Varre about the fact that we've defeated Magnus the Beastclaw. He'll send us to go and get the Blood of a Maiden. We go back to Church of Inhibition, where we've already beaten Vike. And then Varre will let us go to Mogwin, and that's where we'll wrap up.
Glad. You have a. I wish to a knight luminary. So
He said I had a I'm not sure what he means by that.
for your normally this but sin.
We should also end up going to 4 Belfries anyway, because we need to do Nefeli Lu's questline, and for that we need to make sure we have the Stormhawk ashes that we get there, but that's something we can do completely independently of this. It's not going to be a better or worse reason to do it, and we would have come here anyway for the Sacred Tears, so that's totally fine. Watched RT Game and Shenpai play with randomizer. Their playthrough was the one that convinced me that I should do a randomizer playthrough, because I'd seen people do it and I didn't realize how much stuff you could randomize. I just thought it was going to be like boss locations, but I didn't realize it was like all of the item locations, the NPC outfits where like flowers and smithing stones and stuff appeared, and it was just chaotic enough that I felt, yeah, I could probably handle that. It felt more interesting to me than the notion of it just being about randomizing where bosses appeared. Streamers do their best trying to make me think of something other than Minecraft. Jokes on them, I watch the architecture for inspiration. Jokes on you, that's what I already did in Empires Season 2 with this game. Like, a lot of my builds in Empire Season 2 were inspired by Limgrave and Altus Plateau's architecture, specifically. Alright, now we have that. Varre can shut up while we go to Mogwin Palace. We wouldn't have had Orbulon without it. We'll always have Orbulon. Yeah, that was such a fun playthrough. Like, I kind of wish that maybe they finished it on stream and Shen didn't upload the final part of it, but I was watching it on Shen's VOD's channel on YouTube, and now I'm going back and watching Shen's entire original playthrough of Elden Ring and probably the DLC after that. And yeah, it's pretty funny because she just can't pick a build right now, and so she's like, my build is I don't know, Started as a quality build, ended up as a big shrug. Thanks for the smithing stone. Weird giant laser eye skull thing. Up. I forget which ones of these are the actual worthwhile gets, but there's one here that's like a massive room, so we'll grab that, and then we'll head up to our favorite farming spots. And then, last of all, I'm going to go back to the cave in Caelid where we get the gold scarab talisman, and we'll try and get that again. Now that I've got a few more levels under my belt and slightly more upgraded swords. Still don't have a lantern or a torch though, so sorry it's going to be very dark in here. Okay, yeah, we're doing slightly more damage now, I think. Alright, where's the cave? There we go. It's like, how do I get out of here? Help. Nice. And now I can actually use the healing capacity of my Flask of Wondrous Physic as we re-enter this boss fight. Will I count the epee? Yes. And Shadow of the Erd Tree stuff is already included because we've already done, I think, 4 or 5 playthroughs of weapons from the DLC, and we also did the Astrologer's Staff playthrough, obtaining every sorcery in the game. Because I figured we should add something special to that run, since you get the staff as like your starter equipment as an astrologer. So we ended up doing an all sorceries playthrough, basically, including the DLC. Get wrecked. Best I've done that fight for a while, actually. First time I've done that fight in recent memory and not ended up scarlet rotted and dying by the end of it. Am I doing the let me solo her fight? I will have to fight Melania at some stage, but not with every playthrough, not with every weapon. But yeah, sooner or later we're going to have to fight Melania, because Hand of Melania is the weapon that you get from her, and at some point the incantation you get from beating her is going to be part of an all incantations playthrough. So that'll happen, but it'll happen when we want it to. Oh my gosh, Surge! The back-to-back raids today have been amazing. Thank you so much for raiding in. Welcome, folks. Hope you're all well. We are going to be wrapping up here soon, but I want to briefly show you what I'm up to. So this is the Elden Ring A-Z. This is a challenge in which I'm trying to beat Elden Ring with every weapon, including DLC weapons, in alphabetical order. We've beaten the game with every weapon starting with A, and one weapon starting with B. So we're now on the Bandit's curved sword playthroughs. We've imbued each of these with opposing elements, and we're going to be leveling up a little bit at the worst kept secret in Elden Ring, the Mogwin Palace Poultry Farm. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you all had a great stream. I'm going to equip a bow, and I mean, we start with the short bow, but I'm getting the long bow because I know the range better. We also equip the gold scarab talisman. Switch to that, equip that, and shoot this bird. So for people who have played Elden Ring and weren't aware of this, congratulations, you beat the game legit. For everybody else, you can trick this bird into running off a ledge, and if you've got the gold scarab talisman, it gets you 13,000 runes every time it dies, which is a really great way of leveling up. And we're going to be doing that basically every run, unless I challenge myself not to for some reason or another. Because this is a really great way of farming runes in between streams and making sure that the amount of streams I do is at least somewhat bearable for each weapon, especially the ones where I have secondary objectives that I want to just go and do. Bow starts with B too. Unfortunately, this bow starts with L, and the other one I have starts with S, so we'll get there eventually. But yeah, we're planning on beating the game with every weapon in alphabetical order, A to Z, and this is the 15th time I will beat Elden Ring with these weapons eventually. And after this, we have the Banished Knight's Greatsword, and then the Banished Knight's Halberd, and then we get back into weapons that I have never heard of or used before, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, we are going to wrap up here simply because now is the time I would just sit here and farm like 2 million runes and upgrade all the way to like level 120 something. And at this point, I need to go and get dinner. So, it's been a pleasure streaming for you all. If you're in the United States, hope you have a great Thanksgiving if you're celebrating, and I hope you all have a great Thursday otherwise. I'm going to send you folks over to somebody else who's streaming here on the Twitch. And it might as well be Joel Duggan who's streaming Satisfactory, unless he's just finishing his stream, which is what happened when I tried to raid him the other day, and he was trying to raid me. But no, I think Joel is still live, so we're going to raid Joel Duggan. He does amazing Satisfactory builds where he's using the old-school Transformers cartoon as inspiration, and he's merged 2 of his saves, so he has Devastator and one other robot, I forget who it's named after, one of the other Autobots. But yeah, they're all in the same save now, and he's got like Transformers branding and stuff everywhere. It's super cool. So go check it out. You can use your Pixel Hype emotes in the hashtag PixelRaid if you're coming from my community. Obviously, everyone else, feel free to stop over at Joel's and say hi. Emotes of your choice in the chat. Just don't get too spammy with it, otherwise you'll incur the wrath of the mods. But I'll be back with you folks on Sunday for another pair of Minecraft and Elden Ring streams. Until then, have a good one. Take care. Bye for now.